Dawn breaks over the Appalachian Mountains, and a smoky blue mist drifts through the valleys. The air is heavy with the scent of damp pine, rich soil, and the river clay that lines the banks. Birds call from high in the oaks, while fog clings to the hollows, curling around ancient stone and fallen logs. Long before cities rose here, the Cherokee called these lands home, stretching across what is now Georgia, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. More than warriors, they were farmers, inventors, astronomers, and storytellers. Their traditions, resilience, and innovations created a legacy that still echoes through the hills today. But here's the thing, most of what you were taught about them is either half true or not told at all. Stick with me until the end, because once you see the final fact, you'll never look at American history the same way again. But why does this matter to you now? Well, the Cherokee story is more than just history. It's a mirror. Their survival strategies, their wisdom, their resilience in the face of erasure. These lessons are still relevant in a world where cultures vanish overnight and where people are searching to reconnect with roots, meaning, and the land itself. If you want to know how to endure when the odds are stacked against you, if you want to see the hidden layers of America's story that history books left out, then you need to know the Cherokee like you've never known them before. Let's go back before highways cut through Tennessee, before Atlanta even existed. The Cherokee lived across what's now Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Alabama. Imagine over 200 towns connected by trails and trade, cornfields feeding thousands, ball games with spiritual meaning, and laws held in the minds of councils. Beyond the myth that Native Americans were a dying race, the Cherokee were innovators and survivors, shaping America in ways still felt today. Here are 15 fascinating facts about the Cherokee you were never taught, and you wouldn't want to miss the last one. Before we hit the first fact, make sure to like this video and comment what you thought you knew about the Cherokee. I'd really like to know, and I promise you're about to be surprised. Number 1. The 7 Sacred Clans. Step into a Cherokee village 2 centuries ago, and you would immediately feel the invisible ties of the clan. At the center of Cherokee life stood 7 great families: the Wolf, Deer, Bird, Longhair, Wild Potato, Blue, and Paint clans. To be Cherokee was to be born into one of these circles, and that circle shaped identity, duty, and survival. Cherokee society was matrilineal. Clan membership passed through the mother. A child's place in the world came not from the father's name, but from the mother's line, ensuring women anchored continuity. This system moved people together in a web of kinship that extended far beyond immediate family. Each clan carried roles and responsibilities. The Wolf clan protected, the Deer clan healed, and the Paint clan handled spiritual matters. But clans weren't only symbolic. They dictated justice, marriage, and community obligations, or cease, and there was one clear rule. Marriage within the same clan was forbidden, even without blood relation. To the Cherokee, the clan was family, and such unions violated balance and harmony. This structure was also survival insurance. If your home burned, your clan rebuilt it. If you were accused of wrongdoing, your clan defended you. If you were orphaned, your clan raised you. No Cherokee stood alone. Fact 1 held the Cherokee together. But the next fact, their language, pulled them even closer, and the way they used it changed everything. Number 2. The Cherokee language. The Cherokee language belongs to the Iroquoian family, distant cousins of languages once spoken as far north as modern-day New York. Yet over centuries, it developed its own rhythm, sounds, and soul, becoming uniquely Cherokee. In a village, language was more than communication. It was ceremony, governance, and survival. Clan obligations, justice, and marriage rules meant little unless they were spoken and remembered. To recite law, sing a medicine song, or tell a creation story was to keep the nation alive. Without the language, the clan system itself would lose meaning. When Europeans arrived, this connection was threatened. Forced removals, mission schools, and assimilation policies tried to silence Cherokee speech. Yet like the clans that rebuilt homes and defended kin, the language endured. Even in the harshest times, some whispered it in secret, teaching children so the words would not vanish. Today, revitalization programs from schools to digital apps keep Cherokee alive. Young people once again grow up hearing the words of their ancestors, just as their clan ties once shaped their lives. To speak Cherokee today is not only to communicate, but to resist erasure and honor the heartbeat that has carried the people across centuries. And if keeping a spoken language alive was impressive, the next fact will blow your mind. Because one man turned spoken words into writing when no one thought it could be done. Number 3. Sequoia's syllabary. Born in the late 1700s, Sequoia, a Cherokee silversmith, had a radical idea. If Europeans could capture speech with strange marks on paper, why couldn't the Cherokee do the same? The result was the Cherokee syllabary, 85 characters, each representing a syllable. Unlike English, where week and week sound exactly the same, but their meanings are entirely different for some reason. Sequoia's system was logical, elegant, and perfectly suited for Cherokee speech. Within a few years, people who had never read a word in their lives could learn to read fluently in their own language. At first, some thought Sequoia's invention was witchcraft. One story even mentions that he demonstrated it by making his daughter read a message he'd written, which shocked villagers who thought they were secretly communicating with spirits. But soon, the syllabary spread through the clans. In less than a decade, the Cherokee achieved one of the highest literacy rates in the world, faster than many European nations. Number 3 was revolutionary, but the next proves the Cherokee were just as advanced in architecture. Their homes were so efficient, they put modern, green housing to shame. Number 4. Homes of balance and ingenuity. Traditional Cherokee houses, called asii, followed the wattle and daub method, a solid wooden framework filled with woven river cane and plastered with a mixture of mud and grass. Roofs were topped with bark or wooden shingles, creating natural insulation. The result was a house cool enough to endure southern summers and warm enough to withstand mountain winters. Without bricks, concrete, or steel, the Cherokee built homes that rival what we now call energy-efficient, sustainable housing. But architecture was never one-size-fits-all. Depending on region and resources, some families built rectangular log cabins with chimneys, borrowing and reshaping European styles to meet their needs. Villages often clustered these homes around a central council house, the heart of governance, ceremony, and community. No matter the variation, the guiding principle was to work with the land, not against it. Today, when architects praise eco-friendly design and building with the land, they're echoing what the Cherokee practiced for centuries. Homes that weren't just shelters, but lessons in sustainability, community, and balance with nature. Their homes were ahead of their time, but their politics were even further. The next fact will make you question whether we truly advanced, or if the Cherokee already figured it out centuries ago. Number 5. Councils and chiefs. At the system's core were councils and chiefs, designed to keep power balanced and decisions fair. As discussed previously, the council house sat at the center of the village, a circular building where debates went on for hours. Every clan had a voice, and decisions were made by consensus, not by one person barking orders. If you thought modern committee meetings dragged on, imagine dozens of Cherokee elders carefully weighing every side of an issue. Until harmony was reached, it was less majority rules and more, let's talk this out until everyone can live with it. Chiefs, often selected for their wisdom and leadership abilities, guided the council and acted as spokespersons in interactions with other tribes and European settlers. Today, the Cherokee Nation balances tradition with modern democracy. Its government, headquartered in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, runs under a written constitution that lays out how leaders are chosen and how the nation is governed. What makes it unique is the way it blends time-honored Cherokee values with the framework of a democratically elected system. This approach allows the Cherokee people not only to protect and celebrate their cultural heritage, but also to face modern-day challenges with the tools of contemporary governance. Centuries later, political scientists might call this early democracy. Then the Cherokee just called it common sense. Impressive, yes, but wait until you hear the next fact. The Cherokee women held political power that most nations wouldn't allow for hundreds of years. Number 6. Beloved women. Voices of power and mercy. These were highly respected elder women whose wisdom and influence carried enormous weight in council decisions. And unlike many European systems of the time, Cherokee governance made room for women to shape policy, guide leaders, and check the balance of power. Nancy Ward was one of the most well-known, beloved women, an important figure in 18th century Cherokee history. She promoted harmony and goodwill between the Cherokee and European colonists by using her position. In addition to participating in a variety of social and ceremonial activities, beloved women also held the exceptional authority to pardon captives. This prestigious position demonstrated Cherokee society's deep regard for women. So while the council kept debates fair and the chiefs carried out decisions, the beloved women made sure the system never lost its heart. If you thought women holding power was bold, number 7 is even bolder. The Cherokee also knew that peace and war were two totally different worlds, so they wisely gave each its own leader. Number 7. Peace chiefs and war chiefs. Instead of just one, they had a peace chief and a war chief, each chosen for entirely different skills. The peace chief guided diplomacy, presided over councils, and kept order within the community. If there was a treaty to be negotiated or a dispute to be settled, he was the voice of calm and reason. His role symbolized stability, ensuring the nation stayed united when no enemies were nearby. War chiefs, also called red chiefs, took charge during times of war. They were responsible for leading warriors into battle, planning defense strategies, and making key decisions related to warfare. This balance of leadership prevented tyranny and gave the Cherokee flexibility. They could shift smoothly between diplomacy and defense, depending on the challenge. This system ensured that no single voice dominated every season of life. If you think their politics were balanced, the next fact will make you wonder if modern society is progress, or just a pale imitation of what the Cherokee already built. Cherokee farmers weren't just growing food, they were preserving a nation. They didn't just plant crops. They engineered ecosystems, a system so effective that modern farmers still use it today. Number 8. The Three Sisters. The Cherokee were expert farmers, and their economy and sustenance depended heavily on agriculture. They grew what are known as the Three Sisters, which includes corn, beans, and squash. Together, these three plants supported the growth of the others. Squash spread out to keep weeds out, beans delivered nitrogen to the soil, and corn gave beans a structure to climb. This symbiotic planting method guaranteed soil fertility and increased productivity. Additionally, the Cherokee cultivated a variety of medicinal herbs, sunflowers, and pumpkins. Most of the agricultural tasks were carried out by women, including planting, caring for, and harvesting crops. The extra produce was either traded with other tribes and European settlers or saved for use during the winter. Agriculture was not just a monetary activity, but also a cultural one, with rituals and ceremonies marking planting and harvest times. The Three Sisters sustained Cherokee families through every season, but farming wasn't just about food, and the next fact will show you a ceremony so powerful it could purify an entire community. Number 9. The Green Corn Ceremony. The Green Corn Ceremony is one of the most important traditional festivals for the Cherokee, held to celebrate the first corn harvest of the season. It symbolized purification, forgiveness, and renewal, bringing the community together in gratitude and unity. People danced, feasted, sang, fasted, played traditional games, and lit a new sacred fire, which represented the rekindling of life and spirit. The ceremony reflected the Cherokee's deep agricultural roots and their close connection to nature's cycles. Beyond its spiritual and agricultural meaning, the event provided a time for reconciliation, allowing people to settle conflicts and strengthen social bonds. Despite pressures and disruptions over time, the Green Corn Ceremony endured as a vital cultural tradition, preserving ancient practices and reinforcing the Cherokee's sense of identity and continuity for generations to come. Fact 9 was about community and harmony, but the next fact was a game all about relationships and rivalries. And trust me, it was far more than just a game. Number 10. Stickball. It often involved dozens or even hundreds of participants and was played across miles of fields with hand-carved sticks and a little ball. However, this was more than just a game. It was a negotiation. Villages used stickball to teach young soldiers, build alliances, and resolve conflicts. Beyond the field, there was significance in the sound of sticks colliding, the thud of the ball, and the smell of sweat and pine resin. Victory brought honor, defeat taught humility, and every match reinforced community bonds. If this sounds familiar, it's because we still practice the same idea today. Think of the Olympics, where rival nations set aside their weapons and meet on the field, court, or track. For the Cherokee, stickball was their Olympics, a living classroom in leadership, cooperation, and balance. It connected body, spirit, and society, proving that sometimes the surest path to peace is found not in council chambers, but in the game itself. But bruises and broken pride weren't the only battles they faced. Illness, injury, hunger, survival demanded medicine. And the next fact shows just how far ahead the Cherokee were in the art of healing. Number 11. Cherokee medicine. Healers memorized hundreds of plants and their uses. Willow bark for pain, goldenrod for inflammation, and a few experimental berries that might cure a headache, or make you hiccup like a frog for a day. And long before modern science caught up, they combined this knowledge with spiritual practices like chants, sweat lodges, fasting, and purification rituals. Medicine was deeply tied to survival. Crops failed, epidemics struck, and injuries were common. The Cherokee relied on their remedies not just for curing illness, but for teaching observation, patience, and respect for nature. Women often managed the fields, but medicine connected the entire community, linking clans, generations, and land. Their knowledge was a life-saving mix of science, ritual, and common sense, keeping communities strong and resilient. Fact 11 kept them alive, and the hunting weapon they used wasn't the bow or spear. It was something even more surprising. Number 12. Blowgun hunting. Cherokee hunters mastered the river cane blowgun, sometimes over 10 feet long, firing tiny darts at birds, squirrels, and anything else that might end up being dinner. Precision was everything. Miss and your target laughed at you, or even worse, your whole clan did. Hunting with the blowgun was not just a method of sustenance, it was a discipline that required deep knowledge of the forest. Hunters observed the slightest movement, listened to subtle sounds, and tracked patterns in animal behavior. Every successful hunt was a result of their skill, attentiveness, and respect for the environment. In a time before stores or freezers, mastery of the blowgun ensured that the Cherokee could feed their families while maintaining a balanced relationship with the land around them. But survival isn't just about food. The next shows how the Cherokee recorded history itself without paper, ink, or books. And it worked. Number 13. Wampum belts. Made from meticulously polished shell beads, wampum belts served as living documents, encoding treaties, descendants, and other important events. Each wampum belt was made with detailed patterns and symbols, recording agreements, victories, and the lineages of notable leaders. Interpreting them required specialized knowledge, passed down through generations, ensuring cultural continuity. In council, these belts were far more than decoration. They were tangible proof of promises, a durable record of history that could not be easily altered. If you thought that was innovative, the next fact will shock you even more. The Cherokee turned living trees into road signs long before maps or GPS existed. Number 14. Trail trees. The Cherokee had their own ingenious way of saying, "Turn left at the giant bent tree." They shaped young saplings into distinctive angles, creating living signposts that guided travelers to villages, hunting grounds, and trade routes. These trail trees were carefully planned with a combination of utter patience and observation. Walkers could navigate miles of dense woodland simply by following the curves, branches, and orientations the Cherokee had set decades earlier, and if you ever got lost, you could always blame the tree for growing funny. These markers were crucial for survival, commerce, and communication. In a world without road signs, the Cherokee turned trees into guides, blending practicality and a touch of cleverness that modern GPS could only wish for, but no map could prepare them for what came next. When the very land they had cared for, the forests they had walked, and the rivers they had named were stolen from beneath their feet. Number 15. The Trail of Tears. You see, in the 1830s, the Cherokee faced a chapter no map could prepare them for. Under the Indian Removal Act, thousands were forced from their ancestral lands in the southeastern United States and marched west across rivers, mountains, and frozen plains. The journey became known as the Trail of Tears, and the name is tragically accurate. Imagine leaving the homes your ancestors built, the forests you knew like the back of your hand, carrying only what you could hold, while disease, starvation, and exposure claimed lives every mile. Around 4,000 Cherokee people suffered. Children, elders, mothers, fathers, all caught in a swirl of cruelty justified as progress. Families were torn apart, communities shattered, and cultural treasures left behind. Yet even during this unimaginable suffering, the Cherokee demonstrated resilience. Survivors rebuilt their lives in unfamiliar territories, establishing new communities, schools, and governance structures. They adapted traditions, reformed councils, and continued to pass down language, art, and ceremony. The Trail of Tears is more than a story of loss. It shows the strength, courage, and determination the Cherokee people showed. It reminds us that survival isn't just staying alive, but fighting to keep our culture, identity, and hope alive even when everything around you tries to snatch it away. Think about it. The Cherokee endured colonization, forced removal, and suppression of language and culture, and yet they remain. What if resilience itself is the ultimate survival skill? Their story isn't just about the past, it's about us here and now, about what knowledge we preserve, what balance we seek, and what fires we choose to keep alive. So the next time you hear the name Cherokee, don't just think of cars or sports teams. Think of sequoia carving symbols by firelight. Think of women who held clans together. Think of warriors who ran mountains in a single day. But now I'll ask you, which of these Cherokee truths surprised you the most? What lessons do you think we can still carry into our world today? Let us know in the comments below. I'm very curious to know. If you want more stories like this, voices of history rarely told, then hit that like button and subscribe, because the past isn't gone, it's right beneath our feet, waiting to be remembered.